Christopher.
I'm giving you a choice.
I'm sorry to hear about your wife.
She included you all in her will.
I don't want anything of hers.
Not even $100,000.
The Call. So, I went to go check out if my local theater is open since Regal shut down all theaters. I go to two theaters. One of them is not shut down, but one is still open for a little bit. There's a ghost town in there, and I saw a movie I randomly watched the trailer for called The Call. And never heard of it. Has Lynn Shay, who's a great actress. Has Tobin Bell, most intimidating voice in history. That dude always sounds like he's trying to kill you. That is like what I imagine serial killers sound like, even though serial killers just sound like normal people. But if they were very transparent, like you're like, this guy definitely kills people, they would all sound like Tobin Bell. Greatest voice. I wish I had his voice. I would intimidate everybody. But watch this movie. I don't even know what it was, but it was god awful. But it was the good kind of awful. There's three things a movie can be. It can be great, it can be mediocre, or it can be bad. Now, mediocre is the worst of all these things. Because mediocre drives you crazy. As you're watching it, you're constantly correcting things. Saying it should have did this, if only it was done better, that was okay. I liked that, but I didn't like that. Bad, a bad movie, a really bad movie, can be so bad it's good. That you're entertained by it. And I like bad movies just like I like great movies. Mediocre is the worst. Those are the most mind-numbing movies. They drive you crazy because you leave it just frustrated. And this movie was so bad, I was laughing and I was entertained through it. The plot derives of kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street in a way. I think it was trying to be like that. But an old woman, commits suicide after these teenagers terrorize her house all the time. They do it every year. And you're supposed to feel bad for the teenagers. You're supposed to be on their side. I don't get that. I don't understand how they're the good guys in this. But they terrorize this woman to the point of suicide. She leaves them $100,000 in her will. Exposition of this entire thing done by Tobin Bell. And it's so great to listen. I wish he did the exposition in every movie. But he's giving them the offer. $100,000. You just gotta walk upstairs and call my wife. I buried her with the phone. And you just gotta stay on the line for 1 minute. And you get $100,000. You walk out the back gate. These characters are so fucking stupid. The fact that they even walked to the house of the person who just died because of them blew my mind. And the fact that they're even listening to this offer from the guy who just lost his wife to them blew my mind even further. I'm like, you just killed his fucking wife. And you're like, everything's fine. And we just walked into his house. He's making us an offer. And it's all good. I don't understand why he'd be upset with us. But this movie goes from 0 to 100 when you get on that phone. And it is copying A Nightmare on Elm Street. Not really copying, but it's inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street. It's so stupid. The scares are so cliche. If you did a drinking game where you saw a scare that was done 10 other times in your lifetime of you watching horror movies, but better, just take a shot. I've seen that in this movie, that movie, the most cliche scares. You'd be dead if you did that game. It is the most cliche horror movie ever. It's extremely loud, and the color pattern thing is goofy. The great thing is, why I was so entertained is the acting is so bad and the dialogue is horrendous. The dialogue is so bad that it is funny. And the character decisions are so stupid that it's funny. It makes you want to scream at the movie, but at the same time, it's funny. I wanted everything bad to happen to these people. And every dumb decision they made, I was just like, wow. I feel like I'm watching a horror movie that would be at the premiere on the billboard at Drake and Josh. Like, back when I used to watch Drake and Josh, he used to have movie listings, and it was always the dumbest movies. In the background, they have movie posters for fake movies. And I imagine this being one of those movies. If they ever walked in a theater and they played it in the context of that show, I imagine it would be the stupidest movie ever. And this is what would be there. This movie is so bad, it's great. It's purely entertaining because it's so freaking stupid. It's also deafening. You're gonna lose your freaking hearing. But The Call, I give it an F. Terrible script, terrible story. Everything is done just in the most cliche way, and it ends abruptly. So weird, but thoroughly entertained by how dumb it was. So, what about you? See any good horror movies? Anything in theaters? Am I missing something? Also subscribe.